to take a look at all of the intrigues in the country as it concerns politics and the different alignments and realignments. Let's now bring in Mathais Emeribe. He is a lawyer and a public affairs analyst to help us understand some of these issues. And of course, he joins us from our studios in Lagos. Mathais, thank you so much for being here. And it's been a week of intrigues, especially starting with, of course, the governor of Rivers State finally speaking up. He had promised to do that. And of course, we've seen meetings and more meetings, some going to him. And of course, this evening, he's had another meeting with PDP governors. So let's talk about the intrigues and what you make of, all that has been happening, especially in the opposition PDP as it concerns Atiku Abubakar and Nyesom Wike.
Thank you very much, Amaka Ude. This is a season of political negotiation, I will call it, because the election is within 6 months or 7 months from now. And therefore, particularly with respect to the opposition, theirs is to act in a manner consistent with them winning election. And what it will mean is that for them, they must have to put their housework in order. So any person that is perceived to be one that could, what I will call, derail that objective that they have, it is their duty in the circumstance, bearing in mind that you have barely 6 months to the election, for them to quickly close ranks. And that is why probably you saw what was going on concerning Wike and then the presidential candidate for the PDP. And that will explain equally why you have their members, some past governors, ministers and others, making effort to reach out to Wike because they know that a person like Wike is an important political figure as far as PDP as an opposition party is concerned. Whether they will win or they will not win is a different issue altogether, but Wike is a fundamental factor if they must succeed in trying to clinch the ticket to take the presidency of the nation come 2023. Therefore, when you see this kind of negotiation, kinds of horse trading going on, you will understand that it is necessary, or else some other party may poach on that particular candidate in question. So I want to believe that if you go back into history, especially after 2015 when PDP lost the election, Wike continued to remain strong in carrying the party on. Because if you remember, the current candidate, that is the candidate of the PDP, was at that material time with the APC. And if people like Wike had not been strong enough to hold on to PDP, it is possible that PDP would have gone into oblivion by virtue of the fact that they were defeated because they don't know how to do opposition politics. So that is what Wike has constantly held on to in order to stabilize the party. So, having done the primaries, expectedly, I would expect that the candidates that won will move in quickly and to involve him in virtually all the, what you may call, decisions concerning how the 2023 election will be done or will be run. And this is even more important, taking into consideration the fact that whether we like it or not, there is a third force in the air that may alter the political equation as it stands now. And whether PDP wants to pretend that if it doesn't exist, it has a fundamental and negative effect concerning them. And that is why the earlier they are able to close ranks with their men, especially those that are very, very strong in bringing about the stability of the party, the better for them. So that is probably what we are seeing going on as we speak.
Thanks very much, Matthias, for such a submission. But again, when you look at the political space, there is a recurring decimal now in the mouths of all the candidates and the parties, the youths, and the youths. How much do you think the youths of Nigeria, owe to the success of the emergence of any of these candidates in the 2023 presidential election?
Now, clearly, it is obvious that, with all due respect, going by what you've seen in respect of the surge for the collection of the PVCs and even their involvement maybe in jingles and others concerning the election for 2023, they have come to the reality or the realization that this is their future. If they fail to take it now, they are not too sure that those that they've left, those who have been handling all this while, will guarantee it for them tomorrow. So for them, today is the most important day. And that is why you have seen them in the forefront. And that is why even the candidates themselves have been talking about what? The youth. So for the youth, they will go with somebody who resonates with their feelings. Somebody who they think they can trust. Somebody who they think that if he gives promises, he is prepared to do or to keep to those promises. I mean, let's take our position or look at what happened in the last 7 years. I mean, I'm aware that if for nothing, one of the manifestos of the ruling or current political party has to do with the issue of creation of jobs. At least for every year, there will be 3 million jobs created. Now, unfortunately, I remember between 2015 and 2016, over how many millions of jobs were lost and how many were created. And today we are talking about over 33 or 34% of unemployment. Whether you like it, this is something that affects the youth. And when we are talking of insecurity, it is an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Some of these kidnapping and so on that may have been going on. If you look very well, it may be the youths, or basically the youths are the ones that will have the heart and the mind to do all those things like that. So, for sure, it is clear that if they don't do anything now, it means that they will probably not do anything again. And that is why it is important that when you look at the PVC collection and going by the INEX data, the youth constitute majority of those that have registered for purposes of the 2023 election. So therefore, any campaign that goes on as it's presently constituted without involving the youth, as it were, know that such a political party is not prepared, and for all you know, and for all intents and purposes, it will probably go into oblivion because it has ignored a significant percentage of the voting bloc as far as this election for 2023 is concerned.
Well, Matthias, we can totally relate to what you're speaking about, but the truth is the Nigerian youths have always constituted over 60% of our voting population. But if that number translates to the vote and having to tilt where, the victory goes is another question for another day, because right now we've actually run out of time. We'd have to say thank you so much to you, Matthias, for joining us tonight on the program.